Hey you guys, welcome back to Rocket City Yardstead. I hope you're all doing well. So today we are going to make a sheet pan dinner. This is something that I have been making for years, and we've kind of taken a little break from it. And on this Whole30, I thought we should have that again. And so I made it, I think I made it last week one day, and it really was as good as I remembered. And so I thought I would share it with you guys because it's nice to have minimal dishes sometimes, isn't it? So we are going to make a sheet pan roasted cauliflower rice pilaf with roasted salmon and asparagus. So first thing we got to do is get our cauliflower on the tray. If you want to grate your own cauliflower into cauliflower rice, by all means, do that. But I just don't like to have to do that. And I find the frozen cauliflower rice works really well for this. So I have a pound of frozen cauliflower rice. We're going to drizzle about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil on here. And then we're going to season it up. So I'm going to start with some salt, probably about a teaspoon. We're going to add some pepper and garlic. Those are really the most basic things. And if you just wanted this as a side of cauliflower rice, salt, pepper, and garlic would be a great place to stop. But we're going to add some more seasonings to it. So there's our garlic powder. I like to add some turmeric. I like the color it adds. It's good for you. I don't really know if turmeric has much of a flavor, but I add it. We're going to add, I opened the wrong side of that cinnamon. That could have been bad. We're going to add a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of cumin. So we're going a little bit, like Moroccan flavors here with some of these spices. And then I'm going to take my spatula and toss this all together, get it nice and coated. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and we are going to put this in there. Total, this is going to take 40 minutes in the oven, but we're going to let it cook for 20 minutes and give our rice a stir. We are going to add more ingredients to this rice. Ooh, I'm throwing cauliflower in the floor, y'all. So we will add more ingredients to this rice later, but I like to let the cauliflower rice cook for a while before I add the other ingredients because they're more likely to get overcooked. All right, so this is going to go in the oven for 20 minutes. While our rice is cooking, I am going to get the other ingredients for our pilaf together. So I have about a 1/4 cup of just cashew pieces here. These are fairly small cashew pieces, so I don't even have to chop those at all. If you wanted to use almonds or walnuts, just use whatever your favorite nut is, but I use cashews. We're going to add some dried apricots. I'm going to chop these up nice and fine, some green onions, and some parsley. I like to add all of these later in the process because they can get overcooked if you put them in from the beginning. So I'll put them in once we've pulled the rice out and given it a stir at 20 minutes. A lot of times I will do dried cranberries in this, but the cranberries I can find locally are not Whole30 compliant because they have added sugar. I do know that Azure Standard carries cranberries that are sweetened with apple juice, which is kind of awesome. I would love to get some of those, but they would be compliant because they're not sweetened with cane sugar, but apple juice. So just little pieces of apricot here. I'm going to scoot those to the side. I have 3 green onions that I have washed and trimmed up a bit, and we're just going to chop those up nice and fine. And as far as our pilaf goes, the last thing we're going to add is a couple tablespoons of parsley. I will wait until the very end to add this after we've pulled it out of the oven, just because I like the herby part to be really nice and fresh. but you could add it in earlier if you don't mind it being cooked a little bit. So if you have never cooked fresh asparagus before, it can get a little bit woody at the end. And so you want to look and see where the asparagus is going to snap naturally. So this actually was quite a bit of stem, but that's okay. So we are just going to line all of our asparagus up to match that one and cut the ends off, because this part will be tough and not very tasty. Now that our asparagus is prepped, we're really just in a waiting game here. I have about 10 minutes left on the cauliflower before I take it out and give it a stir, and then put it back in the oven with some of these ingredients in it. This is a really great meal for if you're gonna be at home but you have some other things you need to do, because you can walk away from this while it's in the oven and just come back and add things to the tray as needed. So I'll meet you guys back here when it's time to add some of these ingredients to our cauliflower rice. Our rice is ready to toss. It's been in the oven for 20 minutes. So we're gonna add our nuts, our apricots, and our green onions. And mix this all in. Try and get everything nicely distributed. And those apricot pieces are pretty sticky, so they do like to stick together. So you just gotta kind of zhuzh them apart. So now this is ready to go back in the oven. Our cauliflower rice is back in the oven. I set the timer for 10 minutes. Once that's done, we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna add our asparagus and our salmon. We'll season those both up and then pop it back in the oven for the final 10 minutes. All right, I'm gonna give this rice another toss, and then I'm just gonna scoot it kind of to the side a little bit so we have room for our salmon and our asparagus. Give myself about half the tray for the salmon and asparagus. So I'm going to be really simple with this asparagus because the cauliflower rice is seasoned so heavily. So just a little drizzle of oil, a little salt, a little pepper, and a little garlic. Nothing fancy. Gonna give it a little bit of a toss so it's all coated with the oil and salt and pepper. Get it spread out into one nice layer here. And then I'm gonna grab our salmon. I'm just gonna put our salmon fillet on here. This salmon fillet is about 6 ounces, and so my mom and I will just split one. But if you want more protein than that, you could fix multiples. But we're gonna some garlic, some salt and pepper again, just like on our asparagus. We're really letting our cauliflower rice do the talking as far as spices go here. So into the oven for a final 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes prep time, 40 minutes in the oven total. We have this delicious sheet pan dinner and minimal dishes to clean up. A knife, a cutting board, and the sheet pan. So I'd call that a win. Let's dish some of this up and give it a try. Let's dish up some cauliflower rice. It's so pretty. It's so pretty and it smells fantastic. The cinnamon and cumin in particular are just really aromatic. Grab some of the asparagus and part of the salmon. So this is a really nice weeknight meal, I think. Let's try some of this rice. The cauliflower rice is really the star of this. Mm. It's salty and sweet with those apricots. The cinnamon and cumin add a nice warmth to it. And then you get that crunch from the nuts. It's so good. The salmon is perfectly cooked through. So, it just all complements really well. So, if you're looking for a sheet pan dinner for Whole30, I think this is a great one. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.